Welcome back. My name is RandomVictory, and today it's another podcast, and I have.
Stardust 200 here again. Hi guys. Back. I'm back in the grave.
Yep, and today we're talking about different. Uh, how should we explain this?
Uh, Basically we're talking about cards, value, and how good they are in the game.
Yeah,
I think, yeah, that should basically explain it.
because everyone has seen those cards that have a good effect, but people are not using it because they say it's not playable or it doesn't fit with any deck.
Yeah, it's like the cards basically people look at and say, oh, this card ain't good, and then a couple more months later, the card gets really hyped up and say, oh wait, this card actually works with this deck. It's kind of like those. Since I'm an expert at Yu-Gi-Oh, it's kind of like how people when Maximum Crisis first came out, how people were wanting to get Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. I have one. I'm happy to have it. It's a secret rare, so it's hard to pull. And Ash Blossom and Joy Spring is a really, really good hand trap. It's like
Yep.
Maxi in a way. Maxi, who else? Maxi, Ghost Ogre, and Snow Rabbit, and my all-time favorite, Effect Veiler. It's kind of
Yep,
like
that
Oh,
effect Veiler. That's a pretty
I don't know if
overpowered card.
I don't know if Pokemon has anything like that, but I know Yu-Gi-Oh does.
Well, it does, but because Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have rotations, it's harder to play these cards again. Because it just happens. They just remove them, or because there's a card. I'm actually thinking of making a deck out of it. It's dual type Grass Dark from the set Steam Siege before Sun and Moon, and the ability is the attack is that it seems like Star Duelist just left. He probably has some failures. He'll be right back. But what happened was, I'll keep talking about this card until he joins back. That it allowed. So I just kept talking. I told him you would be back. Uh, so the card.
Accidentally clicked the wrong button.
So what the card does, it's if you have the same if you're if you have the same cards in your hand as your opponent, it does 60 more damage.
Right?
Yes, it does. And then with the attachment called, I think it's called spiked balloon or something. I forgot what it was, but it's if your opponent's active Pokemon attacks you, it gets another 60. Another 60. So that's pretty good damage right there. But it didn't see any play. I mean, people would make decks out of it, but it would be more like a draw power deck.
Okay.
That's what people.
Exodia!
Yeah, but of course, Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't have this. Like Yu-Gi-Oh, you can use any card as long as it's not banned. As long as it's not banned, it's playable or
Actually,
limited.
We're talking about how cards can come. Well, in Yu-Gi-Oh, I know cards can come back. Pokemon, like you said, will be a little harder. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, let's say if a card gets released a while back, or a long time ago, and let's talk about Sengen. How I know this is a while back ago, a couple formats back. It was back in the Exceeds era, Zexal, and people were actually abusing Sengen a lot. And Sengen's an old card back from the original day. What they would do is that they would go into Tour Guide, use Tour Guide's effect to switch out Sengen, go into put Sengen down, then go into Rank 3 Exceed Monster, discard Sengen, and then Sengen's effect will activate that lets them search out another Dark Monster, and they will either search out another Sengen or Tour Guide. So that's what I was talking is that sometimes old cards can come back really powerful, even though at first, when
Yep.
they first came out, no one really used them, but until later, then people started using that card and abusing it, and that's why Sengen got on the ban list for a while, and now it has a brought up one.
Yeah.
He does.
I like to say to the viewers, tell me if you enjoy the background music. I just added it so you guys could listen to some smooth music in the back. Um, yeah, so with Yu-Gi-Oh, the exactly what he said, people abused it, and but in Pokemon that's kind of different because of course we have expanded, unlimited, and standard, the main one, the most playable one. But for the card I was talking about, the shift tree, there's a card from Heart Gold Soul Silver. Some people probably not know this card, but it's called Copycat. And what it allows you to do is shuffle your hand back into your deck, and you draw the same number of cards as your opponent. So the attack of that monster fits with that card. It's just you can't use it for standard, but it does work for expanded.
Yeah.
I think I have a few cards from Yu-Gi-Oh that aren't being played, but have pretty good effects. I wonder if I have them on site.
I know I had some upset, but I didn't want to fill my collection. It's so huge. So much cards to go through.
Hey, see, I just opened 2 packs from Code the Duelist, so if that video will probably be coming out before this one. So I'm just going through. I actually haven't read any of the effects from these cards, so I have no idea which one's good or not.
Active Security is a good card for Cybers deck I'm building.
So this card has 25 has 2,500 attack but 0 defense. But if you have 5 or more cards in your hand, you can normal summon this card without tributing. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card in defense position, and if you do, it is treated as a tuner, and you can only use the effect of the wicked something once per turn. And it's a 2, 4, 6, 8, a level 8 monster.
Wait, you can go into it's just that monster alone?
Yeah, if you have 5 or more cards in your hand, it's a normal summon, and then bring it back from the graveyard, and then defense position, and being able to use it as a tuner monster. I hope I see play with this card.
It's you actually go into Clear Wing, a really powerful synchro monster. Or my favorite, I know he doesn't really get used anymore, but he's just my favorite because I just hate destruction cards like Dark Hole, Mirror Force, or anything that just blows up the field completely. I like having Stardust Dragon with me. He's actually my main mascot, so I'm a Stardust. I'm a Stardust all the way.
What's this new set? The World Glacia?
Are you talking about the cards that you pulled?
Yeah.
The World Chalice?
Oh, Chalice. That's what the word is.
Yes. World Chalice.
Is this deck gonna be seeing any play?
From what I heard from Japan, not much. People are still running like Zodiacs, True Draco, some dinosaurs. I mean, but the new set right now, some people are saying that the set's not really that good. Going to range, there's not much. Like, it's not, these archetypes are not going to be like meta. Not like how back when pendulums were first coming out, when they had Duelist Alliance.
Yeah.
The archetypes in Duel Alliance were actually meta because they had Clear Forts, they had Shadows, they had Burning Abyss, they had Yang Zings.
Oh, and they had so much Shadow support. Like, I think 1 year ago they released more Shadows.
Yeah, Shadows were really powerful. Of course, anything that's powerful, Konami's like, okay, we're gonna have to control it. But yeah, People say that actually. Some people said that Duelist Alliance was actually the very best set to start off for the new series, and I kind of understand. But for me, the reason why I like Code of Duels is because there's new archetypes, and I like building new stuff. So I like testing new stuff. I like playing with new stuff. So that's
Yeah,
why to
that's
me
true.
the set is worth it to me. But yeah, so far I think the World Chalice they're not. They might become better after a couple more sets. It's because they need their strength. They need their support. Right now they're
Oh,
not strong enough. But maybe later, after of course after because there's a ban list coming this August. I don't know when, but it's coming, and they might hit True Draco and Zodiac. So who knows? Maybe World Chalice later on will become more stronger. It's because True Dracos and all the previous decks, the previous meta decks that we're into during Maximum Crisis and Raging Tempest, they're gonna get hit. So no one's gonna be playing a deck that's almost halfly dead, not really good like it used to be. And since now we're in Link format, now stuff is a little more slower. So who knows? Maybe World Challenge would actually become a top tier meta deck.
yeah, and this for a Link 2, it's actually pretty strong. The effect is like way too long, so I'm not even gonna read it. But it gives support to their own monsters. Just the bad thing, you have to have different types and attributes in your deck. And what I can see, this might be a water and fire type world chalice deck.
Also rely on their monsters, not their links, but their normal monsters. Actually, normal. They're not effect monsters. They're all well. If they have one that's a rare and it's a effect, but the rest of them are just normal monsters.
How strange.
You can actually look them up if you go to your cards guide. They have the whole entire list of the set of Code of Duelist. You get to see all their cards.
You heard it here, for anyone who wants to see.
Yeah, you
Because
guys can go to. This is actually one of my favorite sites because whenever a new set goes out, I always look through it and just read the new card effects
because
before I get my hands on it.
Star Duelist is the one always making new decks. I mean, he made a new deck with. He's planning to make a cyber deck, and I'm still
You know,
playing my Utopia. Well, I did buy some new cards, but it's gonna be difficult.
RandomVictory has faced many decks of
I
mine
have
that I created and destroyed.
throughout the 2 or 3 years.
Yep,
I have faced many.
that I have made before, but you haven't faced yet.
Yeah, I faced against strong duelist, weak duelist, and overpowered as frick duelist.
Hold on.
The guy who uses the elemental heroes, he was from he was at Gamers Club. The one who taught me how to play.
Uh. Oh, him. Oh yeah, Alec, the one that you actually get these character decks. Yeah, he is really strong. He used to go to our locals at the library where we live. I used to go there, and he always used to be there. He's not bad. He's actually really good. He's knowledgeable too. I haven't seen him in a while. Well, actually, I haven't gone to locals in a while either.
Yeah, this guy was super strong as well as other players. Just that they moved around and they graduated, so I can't go and ask them for a duel. I know that our president, I will call him president. He was technically vice president, but because the main president was never there, we just called him Prez. Um, his name was Andrew, and he actually made custom cards that supported each other, but they were kind of overpowered. I forgot what they did.
Gods of his own. He created his own gods.
Yeah, but I have my own god, so I don't need it. Zexal Hope, negate, negate, negate. Yeah, people get annoyed when you negate one too many times.
Unless they can stop you before you get Utopia out, or completely lock out from your Exceed summoning.
Yeah, that's the problem with these kind of monsters. That's why when you're building a deck, don't just completely dismantle it. Think, think. You have to think around it, and think. You have to see which cards I won't need anymore. Which cards. You have to think of ratios as well. Math. Gaming is about math, especially card games. Strategy. It's a strategy math game. Because in my deck, I had call of call the rodeo, call the warrior, or return of the warrior or something. It returns the warrior from the graveyard to your hand. I barely pulled that card. I think I only, when I had 3 copies in the deck, I think I only pulled it like out of 10 games. I think I pulled it once, and that was near the end. I never got to use it.
It's a useless card.
Yeah, ever since they limited reinforcements of the army.
I miss Rhoda. Rhoda was such a great card. Curse you, Konami, but you do it for a reason.
Yeah, when you're building a deck, don't dismantle completely. Think of cards you could add. Think of cards you could remove, and to make it faster and better. Think of strategies. Think of combos. Think of all kind of stuff.
Well, some decks don't rely on combos. Some decks just rely on just getting your pieces and just going out. And some decks will do rely on combos, like Synchrons. A Synchron deck is a combo-based deck that relies on getting your cards correctly. Then you can just go into Quasar first turn.
Oh, and for the people,
I've done it before.
I haven't heard of people saying this, especially when I'm watching the Yu-Gi-Oh videos. But there probably is people that do this, especially people if you have photographic memory. Take advantage of all decks, all main archetypes that are released that are going to be used in championships, tournaments, anywhere. Memorize the cards, see videos online on how you play those decks, which turns are good to play these cards, and before you start the duel, always ask your opponent. They might not respond and say like which deck they have, but if they respond, you have an upper hand because you already know which cards is gonna be playing at the most important points of his turn.
And also, you should also practice and learn how the deck works, like what cards they use to pull off, like Zodiacs, how they always have Barrage, or they have Tinky, and then they go into like freaking Hammer Kong, then they go into like Chaka, and then they go freaking into Trident. You know, like let's say you have a Maxi, you have to know where you can play that. Since it's a hand trap, you have to know what you're gonna play it. Like what. Basically, you need to find a perfect time to disrupt your opponent's combo or their play. So it basically gives you advantage. That's why you have to. It's better to know how each deck works, even though you don't like the deck or you don't want to play it. It's still good to learn how it works, so you know how to counteract it.
Like me, I didn't know how to use the starter deck. If people that come over, the ones that come over from Star Duelist's channel, if you saw the duel we had with the structure decks, with the starter decks from Code of the Duelist or Link Strike, was it?
Yeah.
I didn't know how to use Ring of Destruction. I didn't know how to use it at all. So that's why I kept playing it, and I kept asking them if I could play it then or now, because I didn't know how to use all the cards in that deck. Because usually I'm used to just using my Utopia deck. That's why I try to get cards that have good effects, but not like a freaking paragraph or graphic novel. Like Light Sworns. Never playing those again. Yeah, those things were hard to play. You had to discard, read all the effects, activate them. It was difficult. It was difficult.
I still lost.
I was lucky.
He was lucky, but wait until next time.
I had no idea how to use any of the cards. I just could play. I thought because that deck only has one copy of each card. So when you're playing a deck that only has one copy of each card, you have to think. You force your opponent to use some of the cards, like I forced him to use the Dark Bribe so he wouldn't be able to counter my Torrential Tribute or my Mirror Force or whatever I played. You force your opponent into a back corner to use those cards, but you save your main cards for later on.
Yeah.
Even though we both lost our main monster near the beginning of the duel.
Yeah. I remember I got the Code Talker out.
He took it out so easily, and I had to take a long time.
Actually, it was kind of surprising. I was actually surprised. Actually, I got the Code Talker out real fast, like second turn or first turn.
First turn?
Yeah, it was first turn, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was the second turn.
I actually got this Code Talkers out, but sadly that's their only monster, and it was a starter deck, so it took really slow. But if I had my main deck, I probably could have gone to like more Code Talkers for like 20 bots.
Yeah, this guy spent $50 on 3 starter decks.
Our decks are like probably $32.
Oh, okay.
It was mostly the booster box that costs a little more. It was the booster
I'm
box.
surprised they don't, because what I liked about the V2Victory, the Exceeds, the last Exceed starter deck, I think that was near the end of the Heartland arc. It was the Carnival, right when they showed the fusion, I think, was it? First time they showed the fusion, and then Victory. What I liked about that deck and the beginning of Pendulums is because they both had extra packs inside.
Oh yeah, they did. They had extra packs.
Yeah,
like they had like a mini set in it.
Yeah, like cards that could help you, and then reprints of older cards like Swords, Mirror
MST,
Force,
Dark
MST,
Good cards.
and a few others. But that's what I liked. What I didn't like about the Link Strike is that they didn't have the extra pack, so you could add into your deck. But also because Code the Duelist hadn't come out, or
No. The sneak preview was coming out soon during that time when Code of Duels came out. Because I think it was the next week after the 21st. Because that's when the Link Strike deck came out. And the sneak peek was like the 29th to the 30th?
yeah, it was. It was the 30th. Cause was it? I think it was the 29th because the Pokemon Burning Shadows one was the 30th.
Yeah, 29th and the 30th, because Yu-Gi-Oh does 2 days. But some places might only do like 1 day.
Yeah, and I recommend for all those people that play Pokemon, if you wanna, like right now, I made a decision. I'm gonna stop buying anything from the new sets because I saw people open the Burning Shadows booster box and you get more holos than the actual GX card. And I still spent like 40 something bucks on the Elite Trainer box. And I only got one GX and one holo out of 8 packs. I would have been happy if I pulled something out like another holo or another GX, something else. But with just one good pull and the other pull, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. For Yu-Gi-Oh, how Yu-Gi-Oh gets pull, well, for the newer set, depends if you're interested or not, is if you pull Firewall Dragon. But of course, with every main character monster always gets reprint, like Utopia and Stardust Dragon
Yeah.
always gets reprint. Or Dark Magician. Dark Magician got reprint a lot. And
Utopia
MLG
got
always
reprinted a lot too.
yeah. So if you guys want to wait, just wait on Firewall Dragon, then you guys should wait. But if you're like me, that are just interested about building the Cybers deck, or if you just like the deck, because I know people have different opinions. If you just like Code of the Duels, then go ahead buy it. If you don't like it, then don't buy it. Just wait until the next set comes out.
Or
Just
for all those people that can't wait or can't spend the 30-something bucks for that card, go buy the Japanese version because they have a better holo rarity. And I prefer
true.
that. People spending the 300 bucks for that Utopia Kaiser when I only spent like 12 for a Japanese version.
You can still use the Japanese versions as long as you have the English translation. You're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, I remember one time when I was building, I didn't have dinos, but it was back during the Dino Rabbit age. I had Rescue Rabbit, but I didn't have enough dinosaurs, so I just called it Dino Warrior instead. I just used Warrior type, so I had 2 Battle Oxes, but I needed a 3rd Battle Ox. So what I did is just grab the Spanish Battle Ox. And since it's a normal monster, really you don't have to have the English translation because it's a normal monster. But if it was Effect Monster, of course you're going to have to have the English. So I was just using the Spanish Battle Ox in my deck for a while.
Yeah.
Because Rescue Rabbit got limited down to 1. It was at 3 for a while. Dino Rabbit. I missed that age. That's where you can go into Dolka or Logia.
Didn't they allow you to bring... if you banished it, you got to get 2 normal monsters with the same name?
I don't remember. I think you can. I'm not for sure. I know one thing is that when you summon Rescue Rabbit, you can actually special summon 2 normal monsters with different names from your deck. And since they're all level 4s, you can just go into rank 4 Exceed Monster. Hold up, I'm just looking through my collection. 2. Is that dinosaurs back in the day wasn't